Hey guys, Chris and PJ here live in the Dream Giveaway Garage.
Happy Wednesday, sir.
Happy Wednesday, and today's the day we hang out with some old hoods, PJ.
Some old heavy hoods.
Some old heavy hoods, that's
I don't
right.
think people realize how heavy this thing is.
This hood is really heavy. Roger, why don't you come visit? You think it's easy to open these hoods? You come visit us and we're going to make you open the GTO
I want to
hood.
show everybody what it was like to get this thing. I mean, you had literally had to pull this lever.
You have to pull that lever, and there's a safety latch, and the GM latch is you pull it out, it releases it, and then you have to kind of let it back in a bit and then pull it out again, and then it does a second click, and then you can get the hood up.
It's crazy.
And these were the days before having a latch on the inside that you could do. So that one is underneath the bumper here. Stayed that way on the A-body from 68 to maybe 72. I think I'm right on that.
So anybody could just walk up to any car and open the hood then, right?
That's correct. It's how people ended up getting their engines missing, right?
Really, a whole engine would
Didn't
be
we
gone.
hear that story? We had a visitor here today. Give them a shout out.
Oh yeah, Pat and Tristan showed up today, walking around the garage.
That's right. He was telling us a story of back in the day. Someone came out and their 440 engine in their Dodge was missing. Like, where did I put that engine? I know I drove home last night.
Well, Roger did say great job on the hood. We appreciate that, Roger. It was very heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hurst Olds hood is even heavier because you've got the fiberglass on top of the metal there. But 8 days left to win this GTO. Here's some key points for everybody to know. 33,000 original miles. Here's another key point you need to know. 33,000 original miles. And one other key point for you to know. 33,000 original miles.
For a vehicle this old, that's very rare, right?
And you know what? And sometimes you go, that doesn't really have that low of miles. Oh, yes, it does.
Oh, yeah.
And just the way this door feels and shuts and sounds, I'm going to do it. It's like a new car.
It is.
That sound is like what a new 68 GTO sounded like. That's such a great sound.
Why does it only have 33,000 original miles?
You know,
Chris?
there's a great question. So here's what we know about it. It was sold new on the East Coast, but I mean, maybe months after being bought new, it migrated to Texas, and that's where it spent pretty much its entire life before we found it. And in fact, there's a Texas license plate in there from 1968. And in fact, I'm going to open that trunk, PJ. And I'm going to do that because someone left the keys in here. So I'm
Chris,
going to do that.
how different is this from the Hurst Olds that we have over there?
Well,
I know they're both white and they both kind of look the same.
In the big scheme of things, they're pretty close. I mean, they're both A-body convertibles, 68 and 69. One has a 400, one has a 455. The two divisions, Oldsmobile division and Pontiac division, kind of had their own idea of what a front end should look like, a rear end should look like.
So it's really about the front end, right?
Well, the front end, the bumpers are different on them. The engines are different. Back in those days, each of the divisions had their own V8s, and actually there's 6 cylinders. It wasn't until really the 70s and the badge engineering that you started to see those engines cross over. You would never see a Chevy engine in a Pontiac until the early 70s. I think the Ventura or the Ventura 2 came with a Chevy 307, and from there, corporate badge engineering. And then before you knew it, Pontiac didn't have its own engines anymore. Last year of a Pontiac V8, raise your hand if you know the answer. I know the answer.
I'm assuming 70s-ish?
Well, I was going to actually say the wrong answer, then I had to think about it. So in 79 was the last year of the 400, even though as far back as 77, Pontiac was putting 403 Olds engines into its Firebirds, its Trans Ams, its Bonnevilles. But there was another Pontiac V8, that little 301 and the 301 Turbo, that continued until 1980 and 1981. Then it was all over. By 1982, it was all corporate engines with bow tie badges on it. And I've got nothing wrong with the Chevy engine. I'm just telling you that that's what General Motors dictated to the boys at Pontiac. Okay, I'm going to open this trunk. What's in here? We've got some neat stuff in here. But right here, I'm going to show you there. Look at that. This thing's kind of heavy.
That's crazy.
It's a Texas plate from 1968 on there. Got a nice car cover in there. And you'll see some parts here, and the reason is that, remember, we changed out that vacuum-operated headlight system to the electric system. You can see here the sticker that this has an anti-spin differential. Raise your hand if you know what Pontiac called Posi Track. They didn't call it Posi Track. They called it Safety Track.
Ah.
Yeah, SAF-T-TRAK. And so this is a Posi car, so they called it Safety Track. GTO emblem right there. First year of the decals, the GTO decals on the quarter panels, and first year of the rear quarter turn signal indicators.
Wow.
Right, and in this case, PJ, zoom in on that one next to the GTO decal. What's that look like? What's that indicator look like? And I'm going to give you a hint, it's Indian themed.
Like an arrow?
Exactly. It looks just like an arrowhead. So even though Pontiac had moved away from those Indian sort of tie-ins, remember, Pontiac was named after Chief Pontiac, right? But they still had a couple cues here and there, like the arrowhead turn signal indicators. Here are the keys. And you only have 8 days and what, 10 hours left, PJ?
That's right.
And then what happens, PJ? Please tell them.
Nobody can get any more tickets anymore, but then we'll be still getting phone calls to get some.
And so you're saying, okay, Chris, you proved to me that it was a Texas car in 1968. Well, you proved to me that it was a Texas car recently.
Ooh, look at that.
And there you go. Texas Department of Motor Vehicle. It's a registration or its inspection sticker all the way back from 2022.
Roger says needs a white shifter knob.
Does need a white shifter knob. Black from the factory. Again, 33,000 original miles. And I got to tell you, I love Ames Performance. I love all their reproduction stuff. But this did not need reproduction interior or door panels. This is all original issue stuff commensurate with the low miles here. I love it.
So whoever wins this, is the person who wins this going to be somebody who wants to just take it to a car show or just cruise around their
You know what? I
local
took
town?
it for either one, PJ. I took it for a ride. It is a great ride. It's got a power top. All GTO convertibles, we see power tops. And this one is great. It does not have AC, as you can see as PJ moves that camera in
There's
to
nothing
that
there,
firewall.
Chris.
There's nothing there. That's correct. In those days, AC was not a standard item. I was going to say standard option, but I guess that's an oxymoron. So, yeah, it was not standard. You'd have to order air conditioning. This, of course, is a 350 horse Pontiac 400 cubic inch V8. And people ask, does it have ram air? Well, one look at the felt here.
Unless it's going through the felt, it doesn't.
Unless
right?
it's going through the felt, it does not have. It was not ram air from the factory. 68 was still a very, very low production year for the Ram Air GTOs.
So were the hood holes up there just kind of for show?
Correct. Yeah. In fact, there's an engineer. You guys got me talking Pontiac. This could be a while. So an engineer, he's still around by the name of Herb Adams. And he saw the 65 GTO, which had the dual scoops on it, but they were closed off. And he's like, why don't I develop a functional ram air system? So in 1965, it was available only over the counter at your Pontiac parts counter at your dealership, and very few people bought them. By 1966, you could order a Ram Air 389 tri-power. Only think about 102 of them were made. 67, they made some more. 68, they made some more. But it was really 1969 with the introduction of the Judge and the Ram Air 3 that you would see a whole lot more functional Ram Air GTOs on America's roads. Now, what would it take to convert this to a Ram Air car? Not a whole lot at all.
Put a hole in the roof. Or in the hood.
Not in the roof. There's already a hole in the roof, PJ. You'd have to take out those block-off plates, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to knock those out so that you had a way to get the air through. And then you'd have to cut a hole in the felt. And then you would simply need to get a Ram Air pan and they sell them. And that's 2 pieces in 1968. There's a piece that bolts here, and there's the air cleaner here, which is a separate pan. So all those parts are available from Ames Performance. You could get them, and you could convert this to a functional Ram Air car.
Would it give you more horsepower?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, because what would the reasoning be for someone who wanted to do
More
that?
horsepower,
Yeah.
and it's a really cool name, Ram Air. I have a Ram Air.
Well, there's only 10 days left.
No, PJ, there's
Or
only
8 days
eight days
Yeah,
left.
that's right.
Week from Thursday, and you guys have until midnight to enter. So raise your hand if you've gotten entries to win. I can't raise my hand. I'm not allowed to enter. Look at that. See?
Nope.
How about you, PJ?
I cannot.
You can't enter either. Oh, so they're not just singling me out.
No.
Neither me or you can enter.
All the good-looking guys can't enter, I guess.
Ah, darn it.
But I'm
Speaking
sure
of good looking,
good-looking guys out there could.
speaking of good looking, let's take another peek at the Corvette before we end today's show.
Now, this isn't the 65 Restomod that we were looking at for 11 months.
No, PJ, it's not.
Because this isn't even a C2, Chris.
No, it's a C3.
And that engine is definitely different from the LS3 that we saw.
Definitely different. Yeah, that's a 454 LS5, 390 horsepower, big block with factory air conditioning on it. What a cool looking car, PJ.
Yeah.
Cool car, Monza red, T-top. The rest of them, we are holding the award ceremony in 2 days, PJ. We're going to have a winner in-house in 2 days.
I got to get some paperwork going.
But I digress. T-top car here, NCRS, 3-time top flight winner. Probably the most awarded car Corvette we've had in Dream Giveaway for a while. Though that Duntov Award C2 we had a few years ago, that was close.
And there's a lot of paperwork. I don't think people realize how the paperwork
There's this
is.
whole box. I'm not going to say what box it is, so it's...
I know what box it is.
Yeah, but it's fun. So guys, you tell me, if you had to pick one in the next 8 days, which one are you going to pick? This
That's
one,
right.
right? Because after 8 days, you can't enter anymore. And after 8 days, you got almost 11 months to get your entries to win this classic Vet in our classic Vet Dream Giveaway.
People who come up with these names.
Yeah, how about them? Yeah, there you go. All right, so guys, 2 days till our next award ceremony, 8 days left on GTO, 8 days left before we know who won the 840 horsepower Demon. There you go. I hope you circle all these dates on your calendar. Check out all of our great giveaways at dreamgiveaway.com, and we will see you next time with more great fun, more great action, more great grand prizes, like a 68 GTO with its hood open, like a 70 Corvette, big block AC car with its hood open. It only happens here live in our favorite place on earth, where we open hoods because we like you guys. The Dream Giveaway Garage.
See you next time,
See you
everyone.
guys.